So let's be real. Being an American consumer seriously sucks right now. Between major data breaches putting your social security number at risk, Cash App settling for millions after failing to protect your information, and now even your everyday banking costs are about to go up thanks to big players like Chase Bank, it feels like we just can't catch a break these days. So let's talk about what's happening, why it's hitting your wallet the hardest, and most importantly, what you can do to protect yourself in this nightmare of a financial landscape. So first, the Social Security and personal data breach. So it was reported last week that sensitive information, including Social Security numbers for literal millions, has allegedly been stolen by a hacking group calling themselves USDOD. The group claims to have obtained personal records of 2.9 billion people from national public data. The stolen data may have been released on an online marketplace, with some versions even being leaked for free already. The stolen file reportedly includes 277 gigabytes of data containing names, addresses, histories, relatives, and social security numbers spanning at least 3 decades. The records allegedly include data for citizens of the US, UK, and Canada. USDOD is reportedly selling the data on the dark web for $3.5 million. And copies of the data have already surfaced online, with one particular hacker leaking a comprehensive version for free in August of this year. So who is NPD in the first place, and what are they doing after they allegedly fumbled protecting all of our information? National Public Data is a Florida-based, of course it's Florida, background check company operated by Jericho Pictures, Inc. They hold millions of pieces of information for anyone looking for a job, housing, insurance, etc., and is currently investigating the situation themselves. So now that there's allegations that all of our most sensitive information is out there, what do we recommend to do from here? Well, the smart money says to assume at this point that all of your accounts and logins could already be compromised. So at this stage, you're going to want to update your passwords for critical accounts, ensuring that any new passwords are strong and unique using a mix of characters. You're also going to want to enable multi-factor authentication for any accounts that offer it, and make sure that you consistently check your credit reports for any kind of suspicious activity, and consider freezing your credit if necessary. So bad news story number 2, Cash App security breach and settlements. So online financial system Cash App has actually had 2 major security breaches. The first breach back in 2021 found a former employee downloaded a ton of their customers' data without authorization. The second breach hit last year, where another unauthorized user accessed accounts using customers' phone numbers, stealing money and spreading that information all along the dark web. So now Cash App is in a class action lawsuit. Cash App and its parent company Block were sued, understandably so, for failing to adequately protect consumer information. Cash App agreed to a $15 million settlement without admitting wrongdoing and committed to improving its security measures. But of course, there's eligibility for compensation with specific criteria. Accounts impacted by unauthorized access or fraudulent withdrawals between August 23rd, 2018 and August 20th, 2024 are officially eligible. Claimants must document their losses to qualify for compensation. This settlement is not a general payout to all customers, only those who can prove specific losses are eligible. Eligible customers may receive an email or letter, but they can also access the claim form online. Now, claims must be submitted online or by mail by November 18th, 2024, and claimants need to provide documentation of their specific losses. Compensation can be received via prepaid MasterCard, direct deposit, Venmo, Zelle, or paper check, anything except for Cash App. So, how do you protect yourself from future breaches like this one? Well, you're going to want to maintain caution with any kind of payment apps, because when you're dealing with unknown individuals or clicking links in emails, and when you're using apps like Cash App, Zelle, or Venmo, you got to be careful. And like we suggested previously, implement strong passwords, two-factor authentication, fraud alerts, credit monitoring, and credit freezes to protect when future breaches happen. And the American Financial Nightmare Part 3, Chase Bank announces increasing fees on everyday accounts, signaling the first domino from other banks. Marianne Lake, head of Chase Bank, has issued a warning to the bank's 86 million customers about new charges on the horizon for all of their accounts. Proposed regulations aimed at capping overdraft and late fees are expected to lead to significant cost increases for everyday banking services. In addition, services that are currently free, such as checking accounts and wealth management tools, could soon incur fees by default. Lake emphasized that the changes will be, quote, broad, sweeping, and significant, end quote, particularly affecting those who can least afford the additional costs. Delightful. Now, the caps from the top that is in turn pushing Chase to start charging everywhere else are things like the proposed $8 cap on credit card late payment fees, or the proposed cap of $3 for overdraft charges. And so because of these attempts to help the consumer, these new capital rules could make lending more difficult, requiring banks to hold more reserves against mortgages and credit card loans. And so Chase Bank plans to pass the costs of these higher regulations to its customers, potentially ending free services outright. Now, keep in mind that similar threats were made by banks after the last financial crisis when regulatory caps were imposed, but many banks refrained from charging new fees due to customer backlash. Well, banks now argue that the scope of these new regulations could force them to implement the charges that they had avoided previously. The head of Chase Bank cited how past regulations on debit card swipe fees had already increased costs for consumers and that we should just expect similar outcomes with the new rules on the way. And so from data breaches and settlement payouts to rising bank costs, it's clear that we're facing some serious challenges moving forward. But remember, knowledge is power, folks. And so now that you're armed with facts, you can take the steps to protect yourself and your finances. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone else who might need to hear this. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on crucial updates and tips to stay ahead in this crazy financial world. If you got any questions or you want to share your own experiences or just air some grievances, drop a comment below because we'd love to participate and hear from you. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Zach Ritchie, and I'll see you here in the next video.